one of the biggest proponents in the civil rights movement, a sociologist who influenced and informed many people, and a huge figure in history. William Edward Burghardt Du Bois was born on February 23, 1868. At a young age, his father left him, which made his early life difficult for him and his family. On top of that, being the only minority in a community full of European Americans made his early life a lot harder. He excelled when he attended public school, and his teachers recognized this, pushing him to continue learning and using his knowledge for good. After his high school career, he went to attend Fisk University to continue his learning career. As he was moving to the South, he experienced the height of racism, from bigotry to discrimination. But that didn't faze him from reaching his goals. He later attended Harvard, where he would go to graduate school, where he would study sociology. He was striving to become the first African American to get a PhD from Harvard. When he went to Berlin to do graduate work, he started to look at America from the outside and question the system he lived under. He saw all that was wrong with society, and how racism has created such a disadvantage for his people. The people he was surrounded with saw him as an equal, and also shared their concerns about racism. This gave Du Bois hope that there could be change in society. After his studies, Du Bois became one of the leading faces for his race, writing several books that challenged the norm at the time. One of his most famous books is called The Soul of Black Folk. This book talks about stereotypes, and how they have affected the black community so far. Du Bois and several other black activists sought after equality in many areas, so they created the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. This association was dedicated to help gain all the rights that they deserved, like voting, equal education, and job opportunities. Du Bois was given the role of Director of Publicity and Research. He would use this new organization and power to continue to push for the rights of his people. When he wrote his editorials for the association's magazine, The Crisis, not only did he discuss racism and discrimination, but he was also a big proponent for women's rights as well. Through the association, he was able to help fight against racism in several ways. He fought against the eugenics movement, saying that everyone has their strengths and weaknesses in certain jobs. He went up against their ideology, saying that we could utilize all the strength of every race, instead of just white people. He stated that this would make America better as a whole. He continued to write editorials, now to fight for black rights in federal agencies and the military. He later went against the Atlanta Compromise, which was proposed by fellow activist Booker T. Washington. The compromise stated that African Americans from the South would submit to white people in exchange for basic education. Du Bois disagreed with this, and insisted that there shouldn't need to be a compromise for black people to have an education, but that they deserve full rights like any other person. Du Bois saw the inequality that was persistent in society at the time, and wanted to change it, so he became a sociologist and went against the norm. He strove for equality not only for African Americans, but for women as well. Thanks to his effort and influence, the world we see today is a lot better than it used to be. Thank you so much for watching. In the description below, I'll be putting links where you can learn more about W.E. Du Bois if you're interested.